industries have, most of us have figured out that there are lots of players in our space that have money to spend, and we don't want to get caught sleeping. We don't want to be behind. So I want to thank you for taking the bull by the horns, jumping on here, taking a look at what we can offer. And it's not really about what we can offer. Most of my videos are going to be sort of maybe this is what we can do for you. I want you to know this is an education time. I'm going to show you things that you can implement in your business today, whether you already have, maybe you're doing your marketing in-house, maybe you're already working with a marketing company, and that's fine. You're going to be able to take some of these aspects and elements of what we're doing and go increase and improve your game. So let's kind of move it on. All right, so let's plan out this session. First and foremost is we got to set clear goals and targets for your year. I always think in terms of the last day of the year. What is that going to look like? The night, New Year's Eve, we look back at what our year looked like. What did we accomplish? How did we do? Start looking forward. I want to know that today we are clear on what we're going to be seeing and realizing at the end of the year. Now, what that means is we might have to realign some KPIs, right? What are we going to track to get that ultimate achievement and hit our number, hit our goal? Now, those KPIs are going to be things like number of leads. What's our conversion rate? What's our price per ticket? Cost per lead. These are things that we're going to have to think about on sort of on a micro scale, so that we know how are we doing at our current rate of is our current ticket price, is our current conversion rate. Are we at our current situation? Are we going to be able to hit our number at the end of the year? And that's what I mean by realigning our KPIs. We're going to map out your plan for this accomplishment. And we've got you guys a workbook. I hope everybody was able to download the workbook. Some of you guys on Facebook may not have the link. Tanner can get that for you. I hope everybody was able to download that. We'll be bringing that into play, but you can write in that. And if you fill this out as we go, you're going to have it to turn back to and refer back to all year long, and reconnect with your numbers and make sure you're on the right course. So part of that's going to be understanding your budget, right? And we're going to talk about some percentages and some allocations for our budget towards our marketing and what that really needs to look like. But not just how much to budget, but where to direct that budget. And we're going to break it out, because there's going to be directions that you need to, and percentages that you need to send that way. Channels, again, there are so many channels that we're faced with marketing nowadays, especially where for the most part, marketing has shifted. Our customers, our clients, and our prospective clients, they're online, right? And we need to capitalize on that. They have left, for the most part, TV and radio is not anywhere near, doesn't have anywhere near the reach that it used to. There's still some things that can be done with direct mail. There's still some things that can be done with, signage and other things that are offline, but for the most part, probably around 70% of your focus and budget needs to be online. And then we're going to talk about some trends. There are new trends that have come about in the last year or two, and I'm sure you've heard of all of them. You probably just need to think about how you might be able to leverage that in your business. Okay. And then our most important, the most important aspect of this session is going to be setting you and your business up for massive success in 2023 and beyond. We're going to be thinking big picture here. So we're going to come down to where we're at, what needs to be improved on for the next year, so that we can hit our 3-year goal and have a more of a long-term perspective. So let's dive into it. Let's unpack this. So, okay. I hope everybody got their workbook. Let's pull up our workbook. If you don't have it, you can go to legit5.com/workbook. I'm going to just shut this door. Give me a second. All right. too many things going on out there. My ADHD is getting the best of me. So, all right, let's make sure we have that and we have it open, and let's make sure we can see that. So while we're pulling that up and taking a look at that, let me just talk about why or who I am and why you should listen to me. So I'm going to assume if you're on this call and you're in this session, you're owning a business, or you're a marketer or marketing manager for a business, and your biggest desire would be to have your company be the most obvious choice when it comes to garage door services or plumbing services or HVAC services in your area. When someone needs help, you want to be the person that they call. Is that right? I hope I'm right. I'll assume that much. That's what we're here for. And that's perfect, because if I were starting a garage doors or home service business today, we're going to talk about the things that we would do if we were opening this, if we were opening a business today. These are the things we would do to kick it off and get, become top of mind in our community, and have people be able to mention our name when the opportunity comes for referrals. And then if they need us, that's the name that they would come up with. And I've done this numerous times. So I want to just talk about this. This is sort of my resume a little bit. I designed the guide, how to get more free exposure from Google for your local business and garage door company. We have over 1,000 of those out there. People were calling me back, setting up appointments with us to go through how to get their free exposure from Google. I'm an associate member of the associations. I do everything I can to be as involved as I can. They kind of have their stuff going, but I have my contacts and my representatives there. I've started my own home services businesses. I have started local businesses, home service based businesses. I've grown them, marketed them. We've sold them to either clients or customers. And it's been about 8 years since we really did a deep dive into marketing, online marketing. And the reason I did that is because I had done it myself over and over. And it's pretty, for me, it comes easy. For my team, it comes easy. We enjoy it. We love seeing smaller businesses become larger businesses. And I have got case studies and interviews on my webpage of clients that said, I never dreamed I could do this. I never dreamed or believed we would be in a position. And 4 months after starting their marketing and implementing the things that we're talking about, they hit a growth milestone that they never believed was possible. And you can too. We've been in the local business and garage door business now for 8 years since I started, taking on clients and in more of a freelance perspective. Now, this is the most important piece, and this is the bottom of this page. As a Google and Facebook marketing partner, I'm able to show you insider information, trade secrets, if you will, that you aren't thinking about in just your everyday life and seeing what possibilities there are for you to reach your community and reach prospective customers. But we're going to show you how that's done. We're going to show you how to do it. This isn't a sales pitch session. I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, we'd like to work with you if it's a good fit. If you feel like you want some help and would like some things implemented in your team, certainly we'd love to talk. But my goal and purpose today is to show you guys what's new and what's available to you, and hopefully you guys are going to reap some benefits. Okay, this is our main team. This is me and Tanner, and then you can probably see us in the photo deck there. We do have other members of our team. You might, if you're working with us, you might see in the email or in the workplace chat rooms, Beth and Mark, Lane. You might see some of that, but for the most part, Tanner and me is who you're going to hear from or see. And it's been our goal and our vision and our mission to help these companies grow and achieve and succeed. And it's our passion. And it was our passion when we set out and started our own businesses. And we've been doing this now for 8 years. We love it. We love to see your success and the excitement on your face when you guys hit these milestones. Okay, so we're going to unpack this, your 2023 digital marketing plan. I like to use the word plan. Goal is certainly a word most of us are familiar with. I feel like the word plan is a little bit more concrete. It shows that we've actually got steps to that end result. So let's just kind of hit here. We're going to start by setting clear goals, and clear is that active word, and that ought to be the green word there highlighted, more so than goals, because it's got to be clear. If it's not clear, it's just a hope and a dream. And I'll tell you what, you'll think about it right now, and then 2 hours from now, somebody will say, hey, what was that goal? And you'll have to struggle to kind of pull it out of the air about what that number was. Clarity is key. I can't emphasize that enough. And so if you have pre-planned your year, if you've already done your goal setting for the year, great. Kind of bring those numbers to the forefront right now while we're going through this session. If you haven't, I yammer on for the next few minutes. Take some time to kind of decide what you think you want your number to look like. What do you want to accomplish in that New Year's Eve 2023? When you do some just a meeting with yourself on how you did. All right, so here we go. Right, we're here, and we're holding the pieces to that bridge to our goal, and we're laying them down a piece at a time. And this needs to be more clear than what you're going to do, or what you're going to have for dinner tonight, or what you're going to do to start your day tomorrow. This has got to be crystal, and you got to have a vision of what that will be like and what that'll feel like and what it'll look like when you go, man, if I can hit 3.5 million, 5 million, or even 10 million by the end of this year, what's that going to do for you? How will that change your life? And that might be about your family or your people, whatever. But I'm the kind of guy that likes to set goals. I do read self-help books. I do like to go to seminars, business seminars, as well as some, mindset, motivational type things. And one of the greatest books and programs I've ever been familiar with is this it's called The Ultimate Goal Setting Program by Brian Tracy. It's awesome. It's fabulous. Many of you probably know who Brian Tracy is. But his quote is, success is goals, all else is commentary. And commentary is just something trivial. We dismiss it quickly. We don't dwell on it. We don't think about it. And we really should. So kind of get it in your head that, to succeed with our program that I've given you here in the workbook, and we're going to have some worksheets here in a minute. You got to have something you're striving for. It's the same as a trip from here to Los Angeles or from here to Miami. You need to know the steps that you're going to take to get there so that you get there. Okay, so just take a minute here, and while you're thinking about your goals, when we don't have goals, when we don't have a clear idea where we're going or what our destination is, it kind of reminds me of what we see here in this picture. It's beautiful, but that boat is not going anywhere. I shouldn't say that. There's currents, and this boat is subject to the currents in the water, but this boat's not going to be able to steer or give itself any direction or know where to go. It's crystal clear. There's no wind. There's no breeze. And these guys are just sort of hoping and waiting for something to happen to them. They're going to be controlled instead of controlling their own destiny. And so when we set goals, when we set a plan in place, when we have an ultimate destination and we're clear on it, it's kind of like wind in your sails. What's key, what's something that is important in this picture versus the other one is when you set a goal, you make a plan, and you probably bring your key players, your A players into that meeting and set it up. But then you take it to your team, your whole team, everybody. When everybody is aware of our goal, our direction, our destination, the steps we have to take on a daily basis, that is wind in your sails. That is when you can start pulling levers, pulling cables, keep yourself, keep your team and your company on track to hit your number at the end of the year. All right, so we're going to start with the current snapshot. Right now, this is in your workbook. That's on, looks like page 3. Is that right? Let me look here. Yeah, page 3 of your workbook. We're going to have our current snapshot. Everybody just take a minute and get over there. And we want to start with your average monthly revenue. Now, that doesn't mean where we were at in December or where we're at now. Let's take an average of 2022, divide by 12, and let's get what we've got there. And I want you to write that in. I want you to write that in. You should be able to write that into your into the workbook we gave you. And then, once you've got that average monthly revenue, typical, round number, kind of how many jobs a month did you do? And then your other key metrics, what is your average ticket? What's your average conversion? Now, let me back that up and say that should say your conversion rate. Like if we look at how many, if you're a salesman, if it's you, if it's your technicians, whoever went out there, let's just look at how many jobs you or they went out on and how many converted into closed deals. That is our rate. We kind of need to know what that is. And then the number of trucks that you've got running, right? Once we can figure out the revenue of a truck on a daily basis, then we can really start to scale. We can really, pull that lever and go, okay, how do we put some rocket fuel on this and get it going? And that's always a fun thing to think about, talk about. One of my clients, his truck generates 4,500 a day. He panics when somebody quits or, a truck sits empty for a couple of days because, he needs to get some people in that seat and out there earning, generating revenue. Okay. So I hope everybody's got that. Do we all have kind of that, our current snapshot in mind? Hopefully you've been able to write that in there, take some time to kind of think about that. And then now this is our long-term vision, right? This is December 31st, 2025. So you're right. This is our 2023 outlook and plan, but this is a small part of a big picture. So go ahead and throw some numbers in. And this is also there on page 3 of your workbook. Throw some numbers in there. And this can be blue sky. This can be kind of pie in the sky ideas. And dreamy. Be dreamy about this. What would be ultimate for you to have 3 years from now? And this and then the third bullet point here is why. Let's go back to when you started your business or when you embarked on in this company. Why did you? And that can be selfish. That can be anything you want. That can be for your own. You want to have more money, more freedom, more impact in your life and the lives of others. Maybe it's you wanted something better for your family. Maybe it's you wanted to be able to employ your friends and help out, or just you saw a need in your community and you thought this is a good fit for you. Why did you start this business? And are you able to do exactly that now? Chances are a lot of us have not arrived at that ultimate goal yet, but that belongs here. And if it's that you wanted to travel with your family more, put that in there. And if you're there, great. If you're not, if you hit these ultimate numbers, ultimate revenue at the end of 2025 and trucks out rolling full time all day, every day, if you achieve those numbers, are you going to be able to have that why or that purpose that you even started your business? Okay, so this is our lead generation target planner. And what I want you to do is, if you can, go to legit5.com/worksheet, click the button there to make a copy for yourself. I'm going to pull mine over in, and we're gonna kind of work from that for a little bit. All right. Okay. Is everybody there? I hope everybody's there. Let's see, I'm going to take a look here. Let me know in the chat. Okay. And I have practiced this session 3 or 4 times, and I'm telling you, there's so much here. It's going to be hard for us to kind of get it all in. But I'm going to do my best. I might have to move pretty quickly through this, but I want everybody to have this, because you can play with this. You can get your numbers really clear and solid for yourself really fast. So here's our goal, right? And I've just kind of put some things in here. I don't know if this is your goal, but think about that. Let's get that right there. It doesn't matter if your goal is 5 million. Okay. It's going to automatically factor in for you what you need to hit on a monthly basis. So this is our goal, and it breaks it down for us a little bit. So some of you, I have a client that his goal, and he hit by the end of 2022, he hit 10 million. We have other people that they're not there. They're not there. Their 1.5 million is their goal. We've got clients that are at 1.5 million, and their goal is 3.5 million, because that's kind of where I've trying to help them get some perspective. But let's just say, we're going to go to 3.5 million. And let's see, I think I got that right. Nope. Let me get that. All right, there we go. And it breaks it down automatically for you. So for the sake of this conversation, I'm just going to go with this number. Your monthly target needs to be 291,000. Okay. And that might still seem overwhelming, but this is our goal, and we need to average this on a monthly basis. And so we need to be striving and doing what it takes. We're going to talk about reverse engineering to be able to get that number. Now, here's another one. What is your average ticket value? Now, man, the industry standard for garage door services is around $400, $450. I don't really have anybody in that category. So this is more like what our clients are telling us that their average ticket value is. Maybe we can just kind of go to 600. That might fit better with the sort of industry average. Anyway, and then it breaks it down. So if 600 is more like what your average ticket is, this is how many calls you'd need to be getting to every month to hit your goal. This is what it would take. How many jobs? Okay. Now our second session, our next category is understanding how we're doing on converting our sales. Okay. Or converting our leads to sales. So this is something that needs attention, probably from all of us. We need to constantly be working on that, understanding that we get a lead, we go out, and whether it's us or the technicians going out, or even estimators or salespeople, we know there's a certain interest and there's a certain avatar with most of our home service based leads. People have a problem. They need it fixed. It's not a kicking the tires kind of thing. Their garage door has come off the track. Their spring has broken. Their door opener has stopped working. So we go out there knowing that they have something to fix. But if we're working frequently, we're working from something like Yelp or Home Advisor or Angie, where these people might have contacted 3 or 4 people. And so we need to go out and win them over and not have them turn us away and say, well, we'll get back to you. So constantly work on your conversion rate. And then once you know your conversion rate, then we know how many leads we need a month to be able to hit our target, right? This is that reverse engineering. Now, this is a little bit off. The garage door service lead is typically about $25. Plumbing and HVAC leads typically tend to be more like $35 to $45. But this is your budget on a monthly basis required to hit your number. Now, I have people that I've worked with and people I'm still working with, that their budget is $30,000 to $35,000 a month. That's a lot. That's a lot. For some of us, that's, that's our entire month's revenue, and we need to work on that. But people that know what they have to spend to hit their number, they will commit that because they know that what that result will be. And this is a numbers game, right? It's a numbers game. This is our goal. This is what we need to hit every month to get our goal. We need to get our average ticket to this number or higher. And we know how many jobs, how many service calls, and jobs a month we're going to need to hit there. But what if our percentage, what if our conversion rate's only 50%? All of a sudden now we need more leads. And if once we understand our cost per lead, if that's pretty rock solid, then we know what our spend needs to be, or we can mess with that number by getting better at closing our deals. Okay. All right. So now we know this is our goal and this is our budget allocation. Let's just kind of move over here to the next page on your worksheet is our budget planner. Okay. And we've set this up as it's kind of automatic for us. Kind of enlarge this a little bit. Okay. So here's our goal. Now, this percentage right here, I want to talk about this for a minute. We all need to understand and appreciate what kind of money is required to market, to get the leads, to get the sales, to get the jobs that we need to be able to hit our numbers. As a rule, 6% is a little bit, it's typical. It's kind of becoming a little bit conservative. But if you want to hit $3.5 million, you need to be somewhere, you need to feel like if we're firing on all cylinders, if we're able to capitalize on our leads really well, we can get by with the 6% budget spend. But if we're average, if we're just good and we're solid, but not the very best, we need to probably think more like 10%. 12% would be extreme as in terms of a budget spend. You probably need to be thinking about what else can we do to lower those marketing costs and still hit our number. But we're going to go with 10%. So that means for the year, we need to be willing to spend $350,000 on an average per month. This is about $30,000. And you get comfortable with that in your mind and understand that after that 90-day period, your marketing should be paying for itself, and we're just going to scale. Okay, so then now we're going to be allocating that budget to the different fields of marketing. So we've got online marketing, offline, and then our repeat business marketing. And that's basically our database re-engagement and keeping people that have done business with us, or even leads that didn't close, keeping top of mind with them and doing whatever we have to stay in front of them and keep them as happy customers. So we're going to take that 30,000 per month or that 350,000 per year, and we're going to break that down into 70, 20, and 10 and dedicate that that's your annual budget for the year. And then we're going to scroll down here and we're going to break that out. Okay. So we're going to take that 70,000, that 245,000 and divide that by 12, which is 8.33%. And this is what we need to know, that our online spend, and the things we need to think about is our organic, our paid search, our social media, all of that put together. And that's whatever you're dedicating to your payroll, paying people if that's in-house, or your management fees, and your daily ad spend budget. Okay. Offline marketing. We have a terrific program for that. And I'm probably going to do a separate video on that one day. And that's doing your 5 rounds. That's keeping in touch with your, when you have a happy customer, how do we get their friends and family and neighbors, so that's going to be referral offers to your current database. That's your 5 rounds again, yard signs, etc. Certainly the branding on your trucks, that's huge. So this is kind of what you need to be thinking about, your annual spend, and then your repeat business. And that falls under some of the current trends that we have, is using SMS, text, email, and your social media pages to keep in contact and re-engage your your existing and past clients. Let's scroll down a little bit more. So here's when we break down your online marketing allocations. So that's that 250,000. Well, this is what you should be thinking about for your SEO. We're going to talk more about these three categories in a minute, but your SEO probably deserves about 35% of your annual budget to keep yourself optimized and have Google trusting and having confidence in you and your website and your company. Your PPC and local service ads, that's got a higher price tag on it, but those people that's part of that paid search. The intent there is high. And so those are much easier to capitalize on. And I think Google knows that. And that's why it's a little bit higher spend per lead on those. And then there's your display and retargeting. And that's where someone may have gone to your website. Someone may have engaged or clicked on one of your ads or taken a look at your maps listing. But maybe they didn't pull the trigger at that moment. But then they're gonna be on eBay looking for a new, whatever seat covers for their car on eBay, and then over there on the right is going to be an ad, and that's where we can retarget those people with your ad. So your team needs to be leveraging that because people need to be contacted. Most people between coming from an interested party to an actual lead, it takes like 5 to 7 contacts. So kind of keep that in mind. And this is kind of how we're going to, break that out even more, right? Take this budget here from your total annual marketing budget and break it out. And this is your budget to be thinking of. So anyway, play with that. Have some time with that. If you want to make an appointment with me, let's play with this together and get you clear on your direction and your goal. All right, I'm going to get this out of the way and let's move on. As mentioning before, we have practiced this over and over, and there's just so much content. It's going to be hard for me to fit it all in. So I'm going to be moving quick, but I don't want to leave things in the dust. All right. So understanding your strategy, understanding the basic stepping stones or nuts and bolts to you hitting your goal and being clear. Can't emphasize clarity enough. Okay. Marketing strategy, back to here. This is my favorite thing. This is my power wheel in growing your company. It's broken down into threes. And I like to say three things about three things. So let's take a quick look at the power wheel here. Accelerated growth model. I like to put your company in here. Accelerated growth model for action doors, and precision doors, prices doors, A+ garage doors. Put your company here. This is, and then we go out from there, right? The three things about three things. We starts with sorry guys. All right, driving leads. That's so important. And then we've got to maximize the conversion of those leads, and then we've got to optimize results. So let's talk about, let's get back over here where we start with driving leads. Where do they come from? We've got to get more leads, more people interested in your message. And that's going to come from SEO, your organic search or SEO, the paid search, which is PPC, local service ads, to some degree, Facebook ads, and then your database reactivation with your referral offers, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, then we got to move over to maximizing your conversion. That's when your website is set up for conversion. We're going to talk about that in a minute. The days of just having a website with content and information there and some kind of order to it, those days are over. It has to be a customer journey. It has to speak to your customers, the customer avatar or their personality and mood when they land on your page. And then you need to be thinking, why do people come to your page? And we're going to talk about that here in a minute. Anyway, then your reputation. I cannot believe how many people are sleeping on their online reputation. They pretend, they think it doesn't matter. They've convinced themselves it doesn't matter. They don't even go look. or reply or respond. That is huge. And then one of the new current trends that we're going to talk about in the trends of 2023 is utilizing automation. It's going to do better at capturing your leads for you. It will do better at repositioning your customers to buy when your sales or estimators get on the job. And it's going to allow you to, basically make money in your sleep, which is critical in 2023. You've got to figure out how your business can run when you're on vacation, when you're asleep, and know that your clients are not being ignored. And then we've got to optimize results, right? And that's understanding our return on investment, our average cost per lead, optimizing that so that we get the most leads for our dollar, and then understanding our total spend. Once you understand all of those other things, the only way we're going to be able to scale is pour more rocket fuel on that and launch that rocket. Okay, let's see. Okay, now this is our threefold mission, kind of broken down, probably a little bit easier to understand. But here we have our threefold mission: drive leads, maximize conversion, and optimize results. And we have the 9 clear steps to tripling your sales by getting your internet marketing right. That's what we're going to go through here today. I hope you take some notes, follow along in the workbook. So here we go. Under driving leads, that's done through, and we've already mentioned a couple of times, so our organic, optimizing our page, making sure that Google loves us, has trust and confidence in us so that they will show us to their customers. In 2020, basically the last couple of years and going forward, Google's vision for their company is all about the customer experience. And in the case of marketing, we're not really the customer. The consumer is. Providing good information, good companies, so that their consumers have a good experience and will come back and use their search bar time and time again, that they will have trust in the review process, trust in the Google Business or profile or the Google My Business profile. That's what Google wants. And so we have to comply with that. So that's our organic. Then our paid search, utilizing PPC, Google Ads, and our local service ads. And then understanding your database and getting referrals and repeat business from your customers. Then we've got to maximize our conversion. And that's having our website be an actual journey for a consumer. When they land on that page, what is their personality? What are they thinking? What are they looking for? Are they kicking the tires and just looking for information, or are they on purpose? Do they have a reason for being there and they're looking for it? We'll talk about that here in a bit. Then there's your reputation. It's funny. Many of us that own businesses don't look at, dwell, or really work that reputation. Yet for sure, if you've done a search for a company, you've looked at their online reputation. Almost 100% of us consider the online reputation before making a business decision. However, when it comes to our own company, that seems to be a distraction or a sideshow that we just haven't really invested in. Don't leave it alone, folks. Don't sleep on that. Okay, and then automation. That is 2023. The word of the year is definitely automation. Automate your communication. Automate your content going out so that you can focus on more internal things and being able to be ready when the leads in the business comes in. And then optimizing results, understanding your total spend, average cost per lead, and then your return on investment. And that's always return on investment. When we're in the black, that's always exciting. And the bigger, the better, right? All right, here's our growth model. I won't dwell on this, but this is it. Our Legit5 marketing growth model is just, again, drive leads. The three things: drive leads, maximize conversion, optimize results. And then where do we need to focus most? Here we are putting the pieces that, in this case, in this graphic, the puzzle, but that's building the bridge to get to our goal. Okay. So there's 8 levels of this, right? This is our foundation. SEO is our foundation. let's make no mistake about it. Nearly 100% of our business is going to land on our web page at some point, whether they search, whether they are finding you on social media, whether they click on an ad on Facebook and download a voucher or a discount coupon, or whether they were referred by somebody. They are still going to go to your web page. That needs to be the foundation. And then step 2 is PPC, and that's understanding that when someone searches garage door company near me, if you are on that page, if they see you in the local service ads, in the paid ads, in the map box, and you're in the top 5 of the organic listings, their brain automatically views you as an authority. You are somebody to be trusted. You're the real deal. You're not fly by night. You didn't just show up last week and don't have your stuff together. They understand that when they see you everywhere. Okay, and then there's the retargeting. That's understanding when someone visits your webpage, when someone clicks on a Google ad. Now, HubSpot there's some numbers out there that are still kind of high for the number of people that come to a website on average. This is an average. This is not our average. Our average is about 16% conversion rate. But HubSpot was saying that almost on average, 3% of people that visit a website do nothing when they are there. That is a real sad statement on using our websites as a conversion tool. And I can tell you that by and large, websites are not optimized for conversion. People spend big money on websites. And so when things change, when the market changes, when Google changes their algorithm, it's really tough for people to think, well, now I need to spend another $5,000 on a website or more. But we just have to play along. We have to play that game. So when people go to our website and they don't do anything, we need to be able to retarget them. We need to be able to track them to their next place, put another ad in front of them or an invitation or an offer. And that's number 3. So number 4 is basically your online paid directories. You need to plan for that. You need to be on as many as possible. Yelp, I get a lot of pushback from people on Yelp. They don't like it, but the reality is nobody spends more than Yelp. They are going to rank in your area. I'm sure of it. They're going to rank in your area for when somebody searches for your service near them, and you want to be there. So, the rising tide raises all ships. You want to be there when the tide rises, and it is things like Yelp, Angie's List, and some of these other paid directories. You need to be there. So you can hate on it all you want. It's a necessary evil. You need to just be a part of that. Okay, repeat and referral, and that's where we retarget people through social media. Maybe it's people that follow your Facebook business page. People may have watched a video of yours, and then you want to capture them. You want to be able to follow up with them and give them offers. And then number 6 is our pay per lead, and that's with your home advisors. Yelp also does that, where we're paying for any kind of exposure we get there. And then social media advertising, you need to be there, leverage that. And then the referral program, and that's with your gift cards and your your SMS and with the new trends in marketing with SMS and email marketing to your database. We want to offer a referral program so that we can turn one customer into 2 or many more. But this is the full picture, right? The full spectrum of marketing for your garage door service business. All right. Where do we need to focus most? So I want to just kind of look at this. This is an example of a great website. And we talked before about your customer's avatar. What are they thinking when they're coming? In the case of Valley Plumbing, this is an outfit here in town. I knew the previous owners to Valley Plumbing. It's great operation. They got their stuff together. So let's look at this. So when someone is needing to call a plumber, let's just say for funsies, their water heater it started leaking and they've got an emergency problem. It might also be a toilet that doesn't flush. It might be a slow drain. And, by and large, people that come to our websites are in emergency and urgency status. So their avatar wants to see things like a click to call. Click up here to start your quote online, book your appointment. These are what they're looking for. When they're in that mode, they're not really coming to like take a look at the bio on your company and how you came to be what you think is the greatest plumber or greatest garage door service company in town. They'll want to look at that at some point, and they want to know that it's there. They might look at drain services. They might want to go, okay, well, is my problem what this company does? But they want to know right away how they can get a hold of you to move the needle, to move this ball down the field. Okay. So enough about that. This is an example of a great website optimized for conversion. All right. And then this is one of the trends that Google wants to see. Is your website the hub of activity around your business? Is everything out in the world, whether it's your LinkedIn page, your Twitter page, your Facebook page, or all of your directories, are they all referring back to your website? Are there links coming back to your website? Do you have consistency in terms of the phone number, the address, even the suite number? Everything has to be consistent across the board, matching to your website. And it really needs to be viewed as a hub. When you kind of get your mind wrapped around that you want everybody going to your website, which is optimized for conversion, then you have confidence in knowing that your marketing is a functioning tool for you. Okay, why is conversion so important? Now, here's two examples, and let's not spend too much time here. But in scenario one, this is just a website. Someone just got a kind of a template from WordPress and did a little bit of a do-it-yourself version and put that together so that you have something online. That's fine. For the last 20 years, that's what life has been about with regard to websites, and with little bits and pieces of optimization coming along. But with the great developments in artificial intelligence and growing at such a rate that it is, Google is now able to say, look, it's still about the customer or consumer's experience on your web page. And so they analyze things like, how long did they spend on your web page? How many of your pages did they click to? What's the bounce rate? Did they come in and go out? So enough of that. Let's talk about a website that's just a website, an information center. You might get 1,500 visitors a month. That's probably a fair number for the most part. And your conversion rate on your website is 5%. That means 5% of the people went to your website, found your opt-in page, and gave you their information. But 5% of 1,500 is 75 calls or leads. And let's say your conversion rate's only 30%. You're converting 30% of 75 to 22 book jobs. Let's say an average rate of $450 per transaction. And this is what in a month, this is what your website could theoretically generate for you. Now, over here, let's take a look at what that looks like on a website that has been designed with the customer journey in mind. So the customer has a good experience. Google puts you in front of everybody that searches for your service. And I'll look at what that converts to. 225 calls instead of 75. Same 30% conversion rate, but now it's 67 book jobs at the same price point per ticket. And now we're looking at 30,000 versus 10. Well, now we have money for marketing. Now you've got money to increase your salesman skill set. You've got money for to pay more people in-house to optimize those pages. And all of a sudden, same website with just the arrangement better and the right points on there. We're going to talk some more about some other trends that you can put on there here in a bit. Can conversion optimization really have an impact? And it does. It really does. And it's just so important. These are examples, again, of terrific websites that understand what that means to a customer coming there and what they need and being able to convert them right away. So here's before. It's just kind of content. It's there. Here's after. It's captivating. It's got where they can put their name and address and information in right up front, or the click to call. Okay. All right. So here we've even got the result there showing the increase in growth. Okay. And then ultimately what those results were, the stats. Okay. Let's kind of come on down and kind of click through this. All right. Did you get the workbook? I hope everybody does. I'm going to go just check the chat. Looks like everybody was able to get that. Thumbs up. All right, good. And Tanner put the link in the chat again. So great. Okay. All right. So how do we optimize for conversion? Conversion, let's talk about a definition first. You know, what does conversion really mean? Conversion means that anyone that might be a consumer has acted on your call to action. And so there's conversions or micro conversions all along the journey. And it might be click on an ad, then it might be trading you their information, their contact information for something. Then they make an appointment. We convert them from a lead to an appointment. Then we convert them from a booked appointment to actually you going out. You convert them when you're out there to maybe it's a prepaid appointment to do the service, or a booked appointment to do the service, and maybe that's an install or what have you. But we're converting them to the next step all along the way. So we need to optimize for that. All right, so we've got 12 critical elements, and Tanner told me that I take way too long on this. I'm going to just kind of rely on you to kind of be able to read with this. So the 12 critical elements, and let me pause right here and say, there's probably hundreds of elements that can make a difference. But what we have found is oftentimes that leads to us having like shiny object syndrome. We're trying the next thing we heard about on our website, and we're trying this, and we're trying that. And before you know it, it's become so bogged down with clutter that the website is now ineffective. So we have got these fundamentals. They work time and time again. They are proven to work time and time again, not just in our company and other marketing and website development companies. So I like to stick to the 12 fundamentals. They are going to work, and they are not going to distract or become a problem, especially with our platforms, if you will, Google and social media, et cetera. So let's kind of unpack this and rip through it. But speak to your target avatar, and I've kind of belabored that point. Be real. The days of stock photos it makes us all feel like, well, we're bigger than we are. I'm telling you that will diffuse anyone's motivation and passion for your company so quick. You're a local business. Your customers are local. They do business locally, even if it's a national chain. They're still going to drive to a local business or have a local guy in their community come over. They want to know that you're real and not spam or scam. And I've seen that time and time again. People even call me when I have strategy sessions. Even this week, someone said, yeah, I'm doing this marketing. People call me and ask me if I'm a scam. Well, it's because it looks like a scam, even though it's real. Use video. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, one of the key factors for Google analyzing your website and how we analyze websites is people's time on your site. When they get there, how long do they stay before they move on either to another page or move on to somebody else's website? Video captivates them. They'll watch it. If you structure that right, you're going to have brand awareness right away, and they're going to spend time on your site, which is giving more confidence to Google, and Google has more trust in you. Website welcome videos for each of your services. That's just so key, especially nowadays with helpful content. You need to have unique content for every one of your services and your service city service areas. And then have your call to action in video, instructing them on the next steps to take so that they can get on your, come into your world and get on your books. Leverage social proof. Many of you are doing this. If you're not, man, we're really behind. But that is where you're able to put on your website either video testimonials, or you can go screenshot your Google testimonials or Google reviews and Facebook recommendations and get them over here to your website. People need to see that other people have done business with you and had a good positive experience. That is mission critical. I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to convert, if you want your website to be a converting tool, testimonials are important. Get your basics in order. And what that means is your phone number up in the upper right-hand corner. Ensure that there's a web form customers can fill out. Don't make them just call to get on your books. In 2023, people like being able to book from their phone. They don't have to engage anyone or be on hold with anyone or worry if they're talking to the right people. They can book it online. And then certainly everywhere that you have received any kind of accolades, awards, certification, and then the authority lists like Better Business Bureau, Angie's, and certainly Yelp and Home Advisor. Any of these add to your credibility and make you more of an authority. Ensure that you have clear calls to action on each page. Don't have a page, don't have anywhere that they cannot see a call to action that says, click here to get a quote, click here to talk to one of us. Something that we have seen actually add 3 to 5% in conversions is just a chat widget. Let people click that empty box with somebody down in the lower right-hand corner. Let them click there and express their concern with what they have, what their concern is. Let them make sure that they're chatting with a real person, that their problem is fixable. Special offers and coupons that match the service they're in need of. So when they click on your services page and then they go to the leaky water heater, the slow drain, or the toilet that won't flush, et cetera, or the garage door that won't go up or down, broken spring, make sure that you've got a special offer right there for them that they can get, $20 off, $50 off, or percentage off, or what's actually better than the percentage off offer is actually a fixed price. And there's ways of doing it depending on your home service, but give them a fixed price. If you're in this town, get a new spring for your door for X and go from there. Make sure your website is mobile optimized. That's one that I think people are doing a pretty good job of being sure of, but I'm positive that you have been on a website recently on your phone where the scroll was not right, where the text ran off the side of your phone. That's important. People are not going to struggle. That's actually in the marketing world, that's called friction. People are not going to struggle with friction to do business with you. It needs to be ready and easy at their fingertips. Live chat, that's the chat widget we mentioned. Give clients that option to book online. So important. So important. And I know many of you are thinking, well, what if they book at a time that I can't take them? That's actually fine. It's 100% fine. Gives you an opportunity to call them and warm them up. Tell them you're concerned. You want to help them. The time just kind of got wonky, and you kind of need to see if you can move them up an hour or an hour, half hour, or move them back a day. But you taking the effort instead of blowing them off, and being conscientious of their time and their concerns, they're going to love you all more. Okay, site speed matters. It's funny, I was just with a group yesterday, marketing group, and we were analyzing site speed. Again, it's still completely important. Don't think that when you launch your site and the speed is good, that a year later, 2 years later, or even months later, you're still solid. That needs to be tested and optimized all the time. And then engage with your leads through text and email marketing. And then, of course, that doesn't mean that we don't call people anymore. if they opted in with you through text and they're responding through text, then respond back to them in the way they've shown that they prefer to be communicated with. But if a couple of days go by and they haven't responded to your last text, it's time to pick up the phone. Okay, so here we are back with Valley Plumbing. You can see that chat widget down in the lower right-hand corner. All right, more examples of great websites. Here is that option to schedule themselves online, right there on the homepage. They've got a place to put in their name, email, phone number, what their service is, and they can click to get on that schedule. Okay. All right, we're just going to click through these. We don't need to kind of dwell on this stuff right now. Right, using video, putting right up front, using the social proof right up front where people can see that, and then they can leave a review and see more reviews, and just more examples all the way through. All right. So here's why we want to optimize for mobile, right? 4.8 billion people now own smartphones. Almost, I'm not going to say it's non-existent, because I have in the last couple of months seen a flip phone, but I don't know where they got it, and I don't know how they're working with the operating system, but I have seen a flip phone. But smartphones, people are getting better and better at using that, and more sharp at their game in communicating there. So be ready. Make sure your website and your business is ready for that trend. Then 3 out of 5 consumers search for local business on their smartphone. I actually think it's higher than that. I don't think it's 5 out of 5, but it might be 4.5 out of 5, because literally that's where people are spending their time, except for the few people that are still working from a laptop or a desktop. Even the guys that are working out in the field or working from the computer, that computer is their phone. They're doing all their searches from there. And then 40% of mobile consumers tuned to a competitor site after a bad mobile or web experience. It's true. You've probably experienced that yourself, so I don't need to pound that home. All right. Okay. This is just the checklist. You should receive your checklist in your workbook, and then all of these are compiled there. So, okay. Any takeaways? Any takeaways at all yet? What did you notice? And write that down in your notebook. I'm just going to look over here in the chat. Good. Okay. All right. So, how's your website come up in the search? Now, keep in mind, this is why SEO still matters. 71% of clicks are happening below the paid options, right? And in the case over here on the right, 67% of the clicks that happen are in the first 5 listings. So yes, you do need to be up in the ads, but that doesn't mean that ad is going to get clicked on. But if you're in the ads, the local service ads, the pay-per-click, or the Google ads, the map box, and you're in the top listing, you're going to be that choice. So yes, it matters. You can't rely on the paid search alone, and there are so many people that do. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So these are in almost any market. These are your top keywords for the search. Okay, get rid of this. Okay, so on-site optimization, we need to have a strong website with good content and that user experience. That user experience is trumping regular search engine optimization now. Okay, that doesn't mean we turn away from SEO, but content on a website just to satisfy the algorithm or to satisfy that web crawler, that's not paying off. Your customers or your consumers' experience is now being weighed more heavily, and we see that in our reports with bounce rate, time on page, number of pages clicked on, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, right. Leverage multimedia to improve on-page time. I know from my own experience working with clients day in and day out, getting the videos is hard. It's intimidating. Believe me, when you appear as a real person, whether you make mistakes or you're dressed a little funny or your collar on your uniform is up like this, I know you're embarrassed and it seems imperfect, but when you appear real, people love it, and that's engaging. Pages for each of your services and pages for each of the services cities that you serve. I was on a page yesterday of a up and coming client that they just made a list. They just put a list of the services, the cities they serve. There was no link to that. And I'm telling you, they are not doing well in terms of having trust with Google, and the consumer experience is just low. Unique content, that the Google term or the official term is called helpful content. It needs to be unique. It can't be cut and pasted from anyone else's page. You can't cut and paste it from pages within your site to new pages. Do everything you can to be unique in the information that you provide. Unique content on every page. You got to have your key title word and your H1, so that basically sells the click, right? So that description has got to be something that people see and they go, oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Your name and address and phone number in the footer, and let that scroll with them, whatever page they go to and wherever they're at on the page. Make sure that that information is immediately available, whatever section of your website they're looking at. Blog with ongoing updates and syndication. You know, we got the feeling a while ago, years ago, that blogs were sort of dead and had no value. Actually, they are huge. Your blog posts and getting your information being shared on other sites, people referring back to your blogs, the content being unique and helpful. And there's ways of doing that. Probably one of the easiest ways of making sure that your blog has unique content and information is say it yourself. Write it yourself. It can be a concept that you see on every other web page, but write it out yourself, even with your imperfections in the way you speak or the way you talk. Do it yourself. And then that way Google will not say, yeah, this was just taken from this other website. Okay. Focus on page speed, desktop and mobile for optimization. That's last, but that is certainly not least. Okay. Then off-page SEO. That's where you got to go in and clean your Google business profile or your Google My Business listing and your maps. Get lots of citations across the web. Everywhere that you can post something and put a link to your website, do it. Ask other people to write about you on, let's say, on Yelp. Make a review and reference you and your company. This is where we get citations across the web. Build up your online reviews. Again, this is huge. This tells Google, when these are 5-star, 4 and 5-star reviews, this tells them that the consumer has had a good offline experience. So it's weighed heavily. But Google also searches for your reviews on your directories, on social media, and they bring them into your business profile. Build authoritative links back to your website from other websites, and that takes a little bit of effort and work to get other people to the authority websites to reference you as a company. But this is where Yelp comes in, and your Better Business Bureau, your Chamber of Commerce, everywhere you can get referenced, please do it. Okay, and then strategic content syndication, and that's a little bit sophisticated. That's a little bit higher level, and that's getting your blog posts when you really nailed it, when you really hit it home, getting that authority written about in your association magazines, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, are you building authority? Are you building the links that are authority you need to have? Once it's built and optimized, you need to have links that determine where your page gets placed. So more than 70% of the battle is getting links, and he who has the most quality wins. Now, you'll hear me say he or she, or the business that has the most quality or that spends the most or leverages their authority most wins. That's just, but it's true. we have got to earn confidence with our consumers and with our the platforms that we're using. Okay, and then these are examples. These are examples of backlinks to your website. Be referenced on a supplier's website that somebody might go to a supplier's website and they'll have that link or that page. Find a distributor, find a service provider, and you want to be there. Okay, so here's our on-page listings, pages for each service, pages for each city. Optimize those titles. Absolutely focus on your Google My Business. That is one thing that basically, when I first graduated and got into business, we were doing yellow pages, right? That was key. If you were in the yellow pages, you had business. It was expensive. You did a little bit of work up front, but you were in that yellow pages with full page ad or back cover ad, whatever, for the whole year. It was expensive, but you didn't have to do much. Now there's the reverse. We have our Google My Business page. It's the same thing. It's even better. It's free, but it's a lot of work. You can do it. I promise you can do it. I have tons of friends and clients and prospective clients, people that I've worked with and talked with in the past. They're doing this themselves. They're doing a great job. You can do this. And then new blog post every week. There ought to be one, at least 3 a month. I recommend 1 a week. And then, leveraging your signals. And, it's all about the search engine optimization. And that truly is it. Optimize and make the search engines happy with you. And here's our checklist for understanding the SEO aspect. Okay. Take a minute here, take a look at check your takeaways, what you think you liked, write those down in that workbook. Now we're going to talk about maps. I love maps. It's an easy place to excel and look good in. Do Google Maps matter? Again, they're higher than your search engine optimization. It's high. Your Google Maps is better for you than it's higher than your organic rankings, basically. And because 70% of the clicks happen below the paid area, that Maps is the first place. So you want to be there and you want to be in the 3-pack. Here we go. There's an example of that. 44% of clicks and calls happen right there in the 3-pack. So yes, they matter. Our proven formula get you ranked is we got to optimize your GMB, right? Your Google My Business, and now it's called Google Business Profile, but I think converting everybody to the new name has been more challenging than Google thought. But if you will spend your effort and energy on your GMB, it will make a difference. And then your backlinks in your paid networks or your paid directories, and everywhere you can make a listing for yourself. Look at how those areas work, all coming back to your website. And that's called, we talked earlier in the session about your website being a hub. This is what we're talking about. And then your reviews. If we break it down, it is simple to get in the maps, because you just have to have some dedicated time to your reviews. And we'll talk about that because that's part of the automation, and that should be easy for you. And then your on-page SEO. So these 4 elements are what's going to get you ranked in the maps. And you can take a look once, now that you've seen this, take a look when you do a search, who's in that maps box, and then take a look at their reviews and and where else they're referenced, and look at the online page or the on-page SEO that I've already mentioned here, and see if those elements are all there. Okay, here's your checklist for Google Maps. Again, dedicated time and energy on that will pay huge dividends for you. Okay, now our paid marketing opportunities. This seems to scare people in the do-it-yourself world. Don't let it. Even build, especially with Google versus Facebook. Facebook, you've kind of got to build some more detailed content and put some pictures and videos in there. With Google Ads, it's not that hard, folks. run it, optimize it, run it for 3 days, see how it worked. If it didn't work, then optimize it again. Make sure that your landing page is optimized, like we've talked about with your SEO. But your foundation is your SEO, and that needs to be, that website needs to be optimized, and then we can go into the supporting pages, and that's where we might throw some money on that to get traffic to a well-optimized page. But this is what the paid search does for us. Okay, so here's our pyramid, right? And I just mentioned just a minute ago that your organic, your SEO is your foundation, and it should be. What we find so often now is people kind of decided their website wasn't that important. They needed to do, Google ads or the paid directories. That's where people are searching. And the reality is they will go there. They will click there. They might find your face or your name there. They are going to go to the website. And if that foundation isn't there to support everything that they've seen or had referred to them, it's not going to work, right? They're going to move on. They've got to find a place they have confidence in. So, here are all the avenues of your paid search, your AdWords, the paid ads for Google, local service ads, and then Angie's List, Yelp. Not a lot going on with YP.com anymore, depending on your market, and even Yelp depends on your market. We have a lot of clients in California and sort of the West. Yelp is a big deal here. So to some degree in Florida, Yelp is still, but they are going to outspend everybody. You're not really going to outspend and outrank Yelp. So take advantage of that. They are cheap, or they are free or cheap. Okay, let's just move on through. We don't need to get these results. Let's just kind of, all right, here's another example of good marketing, and then the KPIs. We can talk about your KPIs individually if you ever want to schedule a meeting with me, and we can look at those and pull those up and run some tests. I want to get through this pretty quick. Let's talk about why most pay-per-click campaigns fail. It's because they're set up with only one ad group. And I mentioned this earlier because it was just yesterday. I was looking at a guy who's calling us and wanting us to, he's going to be a client. So we were analyzing his website, and he just has one page with a long list of all of his services, and one page with a long list of all of his service areas. That is cutting corners, and we usually pay the price for cutting corners. Have a page, and you're definitely going to want to kind of compress your pages into fewer pages. Compress your services, compress your service areas. Maybe just pick 10 of your best service areas. Don't use specific text ads and landing pages for a group of keywords. Make it unique to each landing page. And then they don't have a strong call to action. I know that we like to assume that when people come to our webpage, that we like to assume that they're there and they're going to do business with us. They really need to have some direction, and that's with those strong calls to action. Okay. Are you tapping into Google's local service ads? Now, that's a challenge. You've got to get pre-screened, and they've got to be happy with you. You've got to get the insurance policies, and you've got a lot of hoops to jump through. But when you are there, you're probably, I'm going to say, when you get qualified and certified and with the advanced clearances for Google in the local service ads, when you do that, I'm going to speculate that you're in the top 10% of your industry. There aren't enough people in your industry that are willing to go to that effort to get there. So again, it's part of your online presence. When someone Googles your service, if they see you up there, they see you in the paid ads, down in the maps, and down in the organic, you're going to be the obvious choice for them. And then here's your checklist for your paid online marketing. Take a minute, see what you can document and, you know, jot down for your insights and your takeaways. And I'm a little bit behind because I wanted to do this in 90 minutes and it's just taking a little bit longer. So, you know, I would love to review those with you and see what, you know, what kind of directions we can give for you guys to hit your numbers. Active on social media. This is so important. This is that full circle, three-dimensional marketing, and you need to be there. So there's all kinds of options being active on social media, and active pretty much is organic or free. And you can be active in a lot of ways. So you could put creatives on your Facebook page, but you can go involve yourself in somebody else's page or make comments or recommendations on like your community. Like, let's say your community has a community page and someone gets in there and says, do you know a garage door service that does 24-hour services? Well, there's your opportunity to chime in. So go to their page, do a search for who's asking questions or asking for help, make your comments. And, you know, those don't get a lot of activity anyway. So if you will go to that effort, you're definitely going to rise to the top of getting their attention. But there's all kinds of places that you can make comments and be active, but then certainly be proactive. And that's you making your own videos, showing how you guys have treated a customer, showing a recent garage door opener install that you did, or a new spring repair, or restoring, you know, getting a door back on track. And that's really where you make your presence known in your community. Okay. There's a 1.6 billion users. On average, user has 135 friends. I'm going to give you a statistic that's not on here. I don't think. I just saw it from Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. But in the US, the average user that has an account is still, on average, spending 2.5 hours a day on Facebook. 2.5 hours a day. That's an average. You probably don't spend 2.5 hours a day, or you know people that have an account that don't spend 2.5 hours a day. But that means other consumers are spending even more than 2.5 hours a day on Facebook. Your prospective customers are there and they're using it. So don't just, I talk to people all the time on that. Well, I have no interest in Facebook. I think social media is lame. And I'm going, yeah, but your customers don't. They don't think it's lame. They are there. So you are not your ideal customer. Let the numbers kind of speak for themselves. Okay. Email marketing. Again, you know, this is huge. Whenever you guys, you know, update your branding, email your customer base, or even if you've got a list of consumers that are not your specific customers, let people know you've taken on a new team member. You've got more trucks. You've got an offer or a special. You've done new branding. These are updates that are non-invasive, not spammy, and not pushy. All right, more of those results. Let's see. And so this, let's move into, okay. Now that's all part of automation, right? I want to talk about email marketing. We're going to talk about SNS here in a minute. That's part of your automation. You can create one email and merge it with your list so that it's a personal email that goes out to Ron, goes out to Betty, goes out to Jody, and gets distributed as a personal email. And you can set it to go, you know, 50 people a day so that you're not getting flagged as spam. You can set it to go so that each month, one email goes to your client base. It keeps you top of mind. You can do everything from referral offers and then just promotionals, and then certainly money off offers. During your slow season, your automated email and SMS marketing is one of the factors that can keep your high and low cycles a little bit more even. Okay. During the slow season, if you've been doing your email marketing to your database, your client base, all year long, this is what keeps, this is low ad spend. It's nearly nothing, honestly. And certainly in the slow season, still 3% of your market needs your service. At any given time of the year, at least 3% of your market is in need of your service and ready to buy. So you might as well get that low-hanging fruit, the more affordable lead acquisition. So active on social media, using your email and your other options to retarget. Okay. Biggest issue facing garage door and home service companies is unconverted leads. We made this slide just recently because of a bunch of phone calls that I've had with people this time of year. Certainly some of these home business services and home service businesses are a little slower than normal. I've had tons of conversations, and I have found out that even in the last 3 months, they have got 50, 60, even, well, in one case, over 150 unconverted leads. They went out on the job, they did a bid or an estimate, and then didn't convert. Some of them, the people became leads, but then didn't even book an appointment. Now, it's real easy for us as a business owner. When we get a lead, we want them to buy now. We want that lead to be in the market, ready to just pay us over the phone just for calling them back. And that is not reality. The part of the reality is, and I'm going to use an example of window shoppers. And let's just say it's a woman buying a dress, and she walks the sidewalk every day, and there is this beautiful dress in the window. She stops and looks at it every day for a week. It's beautiful. She stops and looks at it, but does that mean she's going to buy? No, she probably isn't ready to buy. But then the next week, she's going to stop and look at it a couple of times, but then she's going to go actually in the store and go look at it. And she's going to stand there and stare at it. Does that mean she's ready to buy? Doesn't mean that. It means she's probably convincing herself and maybe saving money or whatever the case may be. She's closer to buying. She's not ready. So then she's going to do that, stop and look for another week. Then she's going to go in and she's going to tell a salesman, I'd like to try on this dress. Does that still mean she's ready to buy? Well, probably, if it works right and is a good fit on her. But she could still go, yeah, I love it, but I'm going to need another paycheck before she can buy. Okay. And eventually she's going to buy. And when I first got into marketing for clients and customers, I had a boss over me who said, basically, everyone that fills out this application is going to buy. They may not buy this month or next month, but they will buy. So we have got to keep in touch with them. You need to treat every lead this way. Whether they convert immediately or not, they're going to convert sometime, and you want it to be you. So let's talk about keeping in contact with our unconverted leads. So is lead flow really the problem? To be honest, lots of our clients don't have a problem with lead flow. They have a problem with lead conversion and just kind of the nurturing of those leads until they're ready to buy. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So here's the problem: 50 to 60% of inbound leave unconverted, and that's just a reality. Not everybody that calls a divorce lawyer is ready to get a divorce, but you need to be the guy there when they are ready. It's the same thing with a noisy garage door, or they feel like their garage door has gone up and down 500 times, or 500 cycles. They know that it's coming. They're probably looking for somebody's offer that they can download. 90% of web forms fail to convert. That's the law of averages. That is a website that's not optimized for conversions. I'm sorry, I went the wrong way. So here's another reason that we get leads that we fail to convert. This is a big one. Leads that are not followed up on within 15 minutes. They go cold. You know that. This is not revolutionary information. We're all aware that the more time that goes by from the time they opt in to when you finally engage them, the colder they get. Life takes over. They may opt in, they may download something from your Facebook ad, or they may have done a search at 10 o'clock at night, but they know that there's nothing they can do about it. But the reality is that's when they are most interested and probably most available to schedule or deal with it. And that's where automation comes in, because you might be already on a job. You might be doing something else. You might be at a funeral or in the bathroom or in a team meeting when a lead comes in and they need immediate follow-up. This is where automation comes in to help, make that happen, engaging them with text immediately or emails. On average, the customer, whoever gets to that customer within 5 minutes wins. And especially if we're using those paid directories where a lead goes to 4 or 5 service providers at a time, man, if you've waited 15 minutes, you can assume you are second or further down the line in second place. And then there's today's consumer. This is just, recent research shows today 70% of today's consumers want to engage without actual FaceTime. They want to engage, even if it's a live conversation on text or in the chat box. They prefer that than having to have face-to-face contact. Here's a solution. Automation is key. There are lots of automation platforms available to you as a consumer. We're putting together a short course right now on how you can download some of these softwares that have a free version or a $20 or $30 per month version, and you can use them to trigger some communication to your leads and let your staff know, whoever's on call or the call center know, hey, there's a lead call, follow up on it now. Okay, and then there's, I gotta move some things out of the way here. And so this is, this is how, when you're optimized for conversion, this is what makes the difference, right? We have 30% booked jobs coming from 100 leads, 30% conversion, depending on how they're followed up with. If you just think that you're going to come to work on Monday morning and then follow up with all the leads that came in over the weekend, those are cold. You might get those, and I have had times when I have done just that. And yeah, I was lucky enough to revive some of them. But the people that have a 24-hour call service or automation in this case, these people are already being engaged with your competition when automation is kicked in and taking up the conversation with text and email follow-up. Okay. Oops. Okay, so here's your checklist for marketing automation. If you sleep on this much longer, 2 or 3 years from now, all your competition is going to be leveraging automation, and you're going to be asking how to get involved, and you're really behind the game. This is the cutting edge technology in marketing and communication with your clients. So do you have the tools in place to track your ROI? This is one of the questions that I have. I don't want to make anyone feel bad. This is something that's big. If you take the time and deep dive into it, yes, YouTube videos, there's so many sources and tools and information for you out there to be able to track your ROI. But even this calculator that I've got for you, you can track your ROI right here. And we have other tools for that. We're happy to send over for free if you want. Just send me an email and just ask for our ROI calculator. It's pretty simple. Doesn't have all the details that somebody that wants a really sophisticated, deep level understanding of their return on investment, but you can get a very good picture from it just working with our calculators, and we're happy to send that to you. So, watch the traffic trends with Google Analytics, tracking your online ranking for important keywords. We have a list of important keywords. I showed you that earlier. I believe that's in the workbook. If it's not, I'd be happy to get that for you, where you can type in those key search words, see how you rank, see where you're coming in. You got to consider the call tracking on the phone numbers on your website. Now, it's a great idea on paper, and it sounds really good and exciting to move this back over here, to be able to have a unique phone number for everywhere so you can track where your phone calls come in from. There are other ways through the automation. There's other ways being able to track, did they come from a billboard? Did they come from, your TV ad or your social media or your Google My Business? You have ways of tracking that. But if you have a different phone number for each one of those platforms, you're going to be punished by Google in your organic search. They want to see, they don't want to see different numbers all over the place, because then it looks like you're not the same company to their web crawler. Okay, let's see. And then, use your CRM or other tracking tool in place to track your lead source and your build amounts, and using something like Service Titan. And there's plenty, actually, there's what seems like hundreds of different home service tools for that. But deep dive into it. I know none of those software platforms are perfect. I see complaints all the time about all of them. But when you deep dive into it and learn how to leverage those as a tool, it's going to work fine. You're going to be fine. Like I say, none of them are perfect, but they have places for you to ask for them to do some service updates and get you what you need. Okay, and then here's your checklist again. So here's my power wheel again. I'd love to go over this with you in depth on a phone conversation. I don't do hard sales pitches. I want to help you. If doing it the way you want to have it done is more than you and your team can tackle, then I would love to explore the opportunity of working with you. But I would love to see you implement these things and grow. Here's our power wheel broken down in order for you, so that you can see where you're at and where you might need some optimization, room for improvement, and where you want to focus. And here's the model, just a little bit simpler terms. You've got the checklist. It's in your workbook. Try it yourself. Just spend. We're heading into the weekend now. See if you can wake up before the rest of your family wakes up. Take a look at this checklist. Give yourself a self-evaluation of what you've got and where you're at and where you're going. Okay, so if you want some help, and again, this is not a sales pitch. I'm not going to pressure you. If you want some help implementing this, I would love an opportunity to talk. And I think Tanner's going to put in the chat, the link to get on my appointment book. And I'm not in a pressure sales position. I love to explore things that are your concerns. And maybe it's something simple that I can just clear up for you, and you guys can do it on your own if you've got in-house marketing department or you're using somebody. And then certainly if there's an opportunity for us to work together, I'd love to see if it's a good fit. And so I want to just thank everybody for coming on today. Thanks for your time. Thanks for spending, looks like about an hour and 40 minutes here. Thanks for taking a part of your day to spend with me and learn what we've got to offer. But not just that, I hope I explained a lot of this in a way that you can at least dig a little bit and figure out how to implement these things for yourselves. Build your business. I hope 2023 is epic for you. I hope you crush it. I hope that you had a great 2022 and you're just going to use that to catapult so that in the next 12 months, your life is great. Anyway, thanks again. I want to see you again. We're going to have we'll be doing this one probably about every month, every other month, to kind of help little by little bring your marketing in line. But we're going to have we're actually in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing the same thing on recruiting. We are killing it for local service businesses, home service based businesses with our recruiting. And it's not the same as what you're being told. You don't go to Indeed, you don't go to LinkedIn per se. Not saying not to be there, but where we're getting lots of inbound applications and interest in working for our clients. I'm going to show you how we're doing it. And it's real easy, something you can put in place. That's in 2 weeks. So enough. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Kill it. Implement some of this. And if you have questions, please reach out. Talk to you then.